show. Do you need, oh, you have your own water. Good. Welcome everyone this morning. Oh, now we're live. It's good to see everyone here. If you do have a cold or something, we do have masks outside, or maybe you already stayed home if you were sick. That's what we encourage. So hopefully that happened. Exits, really quick. We have one in the back of the building and opposite ends where you came in and when you can go out. And there is also one behind me that I will unlock in the event we need it. Just don't trip over all these cords back here. So that's not going to happen either. And let's see, I think that's all the announcements at the beginning. Oh, turn off your phones. I don't think we have pagers or anything anymore, but anything that beeps, make noise. And now we'll get started by inviting committee chairs or anyone that has something of importance to share for the life of the church to come forward. And now we have Carrie kicking us off.
Yes. Hi, Carrie Mitchell on behalf of Margie with membership. She asked me to announce that next Sunday after service, she will be hosting coffee, chat, and conversation, I think is what she's calling it. It's an opportunity to come back into the conference room and learn a little more about UU in general and our congregation in particular. She usually, I don't want to oversell it, but she usually makes something from, like homemade cake, and it's
the cake
really
is
good.
Really
so
good.
That's a reason to come, even if you don't really care about the information. I don't know.
Of course, if you're already a member, you don't get to have any cake till all the new people get cake. Yeah.
Laura Owens, Social Action Committee. For those of you who were at the post-election service with Reverend Kathy, and we had conversation there, you may have heard me mention that I was putting together a resource page on the Social Action Committee page that called Hope. I think I named it Healing, Hope, and Action. And it is in the notable news as a link, but I wanted to point it out, and basically what it is a page of kind of growing resources for people who perhaps want to get involved in bridging the divide or having conversations with family, mental health links through the greater good of Berkeley, which is amazing, when you're going through distress or anxiety or depression or issues just that you're having a tough time coping. So there's all those kind of bridging the divide conversations through the Braver Angels, which is an amazing group, Central Florida Pledge. Also mental health links, emotional health links. And then also for people who want to engage in activism. And then I put links in there like the ACLU, Planned Parenthood, Equality Florida, the list is long. So it's kind of for anybody who wants to say, okay, this is what I need right now. So it's in the notable news, but it's also on the Social Action Committee page. So thank you.
Thank you,
Laura. Jill Vita for Women's Group. We had a really nice time on Friday. We made beautiful vision boards. If you didn't come, you missed a great time. And we're going to do something again the first Friday of next month, which I don't know the date. It's either the 6th or 7th, but it's evading me at this moment. And we're going to do something for Valentine's Day. So think of love.
from committees. I forgot to get it up here, but we have our first choir rehearsal of the year after the service, and anyone who loves to sing is willing to join us. If you come to one rehearsal, it's not a lifetime requirement that you stay. You can come and check us out, and if you like us, great. If not, that's okay too. Anyway, just letting you know.
Good morning, everyone. Michelle Flores for RE. I'm looking for 1 to 2 volunteers to help out in the back next week. Myself and Jules will both be gone, so we're going to need someone to help with taking care of the kids next week. So if you could just reach out to me directly and let me know. And then this week we're doing in some of the upper classes a scavenger hunt while we learn about the Christianity part of our religious units, world religions unit. And then, and the kids will be making some activities at the littlest UU's room. If you have any questions about any of that, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
And on behalf of Derek, he may have talked to some of you, but at 1:15 this Thursday, there will be a meeting in the Memorial Garden to discuss spring planting, making it look pretty. So if you have landscaping ideas, you know, if that's your thing, please come and help Derek, because I guess he's just thinking about what to do. Okay. Thank you all for sharing all the wonderful things that are going on here. Plenty to get involved with. Opening words this morning come from Sylvia L. Howe. We bid you welcome. We bid you welcome on this first Sunday of the new year. Like Janice, we gather with part of us looking backward and part of us looking forward. We gather on the edge of the new year, saddened by our losses, cherishing our joys, aware of our failures, mindful of days gone by. We gather on the cusp of this new year, eager to begin anew, hopeful for what lies ahead, promising to make changes, anticipating tomorrows and tomorrows. We invite you to join our celebration of life, knowing that life includes good and bad, endings and beginnings. We bid you welcome. And I'll invite Janet and Gary up to lead us in our opening music.
This is number 1059. It's another round, and this might be familiar too. It's a familiar tune. However, I don't think we have sung it here before. So what we're going to do is we're going to sing it through twice, all together, and then we're going to do it as a round twice.
So Janet's side is going to start, and then we'll coming over here.
Right, and on the round, this side will start. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding in the dawn, to sing awake the light, and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night.
Ever dancing circles in the night.
That was very pretty. I think we'll get better at it, and we've got all year to work on it again. Our chalice lighter this morning is Jo. She is 5.5 years old, and she went ice skating on one blade. Oh my goodness. I can't even go on. Well, they only have one blade. On each side. Thank you. Please join me in our traditional words. In the light of truth, in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And the affirmation of this congregation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. We'll take a moment now to welcome everyone again this morning. It's a pleasure to see you, and let's wave at all our online friends, those who may not be feeling well enough to come, those who live further away. We love knowing you're there, and we're grateful for Happy and Anita who keep the Zoom room going each week. It's really a blessing. So take just a moment. Maybe you don't know someone sitting next to you. We have a few guests this morning. That's always a goal. Say hi to someone you don't know. Okay. We'll come back now and know that there's plenty of time to continue the conversation after service. Yes, we always have time for coffee and tea and conversation, and today choir practice. So lots to carry us on afterwards. Another really honored tradition of this congregation is our sharing of joys and concerns. We do that out loud so that we can maybe give you a hug if you need it, if there's something weighing on you, or we can help celebrate together if there's something joyous that happened this week or in your lives. So we have the microphone here. If you'd rather, I can bring it to you, but please come forward to share.
Hi, Happy New Year. Joey Cole here. My husband's been in the hospital since Christmas Eve. He had a stroke and pneumonia, but he's doing better. They hope that he'll be going home tomorrow, got my fingers crossed, or going back to the nursing home, for which I'm very grateful. And I'm especially grateful for the incredible amount of support and love from the congregation. It's really hard, especially through the holidays, and I got a lot of help. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi. Me and Evie have a joy today. In a couple days, our brother birthday is gonna come up, and he's turning 13.
My joy is that my grandma was here at my house today, but she's leaving today.
We have a joy and we have a joy and a concern. Our joy is, well, here's the concern that led to the joy is my office was sinking into the ground because the foundation of the house was sinking. So tomorrow, they're going to pump it back up with some piers, and they're going to put it back up. The concern is that the other side of the house is sinking. So we're going to, if anyone has any advice on what to do with a sinking foundation and how to, well, if you just let me know what you think, because it's a lot of things. You want to say anything else?
two joys is my mom and I got to spend some time in Southwest Florida, where we're originally from, sort of. So that was a great time together. And then another joy is today, this evening, my brother and many people are doing their placements for UCF music and all of that. So good energy to my brother Evan.
My joy is I went to yard work.
My joy is that I build snowmen.
I have a concern that I can't talk about, but I have a concern and I wanted you to know that.
Hi, Chloe McElroy. I was supposed to come up here for committee moments. My parents are doing love letters here on February 8th as a fundraiser. I want to say it's going to be around 6 or 7-ish. They haven't decided a time, but February 8th is going to be a fundraiser for the church. I also just wanted to say that we had a very successful owl lock-in last night. It was the ending of our round of owl for this year. We had a good group. Martha and John came in as new facilitators, and they were rock stars. So we just appreciate y'all working with us, letting us, have your kids and teach your kids about all the things. And we hope to continue doing good things in the next couple years. Next time we have owl.
Hi guys. My name's Lindsay, and I'm sharing a concern. I work for the federal government, and it's not political, but I'm about to get all new bosses in 2 weeks. So, no, change happens every 4 years, but in a workspace, it's hard to know you're about to get all new bosses, right? So please be thinking of just that workspace and that change that's about to occur for me. Thank you.
Don't see any hands. I'm going to take one moment and say that I won't be seeing you guys for a couple of weeks. This coming Friday, don't know what time yet, but I'm getting my shoulder replacement. So surely this time it will be a lot easier because it's planned, and I'm doing it on purpose. So I hope to be back in February, and I'll be watching up on. So y'all took great care of me last time, and I know that you'll be here for me this time, and I've got plenty of people. My daughter, my sister, yes, I will reach out for sure. It was a lesson last time to learn that asking for help can be a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot more people that way. So anyway, let's take a moment of silence for those concerns still in our hearts and in the larger world. Thank you. I'll invite Reverend Kathy up for our time for all ages today.
Thank you. Hi there, Happy New Year. So when I tell a story, sometimes it's a true story about something that really happened, like in history, and sometimes it's an imagination story. And I think that you can usually tell which one it is. So I invite you to remember that some are true, actual stories, and some are idea stories. Okay, here we go. Once there was a little girl. Oh, by the way, I should say this is from my colleague, Reverend Chris Bice. Once there was a little girl who was walking beside a stream when she happened to see a frog that looked very sad. I wonder why that frog is so sad. Then she remembered a story that her mother told her about how a girl kissed a frog and the frog turned into a handsome prince? Maybe that's why this frog is so sad. Maybe no one will kiss it so it can become a prince. So she decided to kiss the frog herself. We can discuss later whether that's a good idea. She set the frog back down on the ground and said, "Poor froggy, I'm sorry I couldn't turn you into a handsome prince." But the frog said, "Oh, you've done something much better. You've made me a happier frog." And the frog hopped off with a great big smile on his face. So if you are walking through the woods one day and you happen to see a little girl picking up frogs and kissing them, don't try to stop her. She knows what she's doing. Frogs need love too. You may not be able to see the frog change on the outside, but believe me, a little love and attention makes everyone feel like royalty on the inside. So this morning for New Year, we're going to do a little ritual, and we're going to begin it, and then we'll have our offertory and interlude, and then we'll conclude it, and then we'll sing the children out. So I'd like to invite you to participate in a ritual of reflection. We'll look back at last year and ahead to this coming year. Often we have some feelings about the things that happened or haven't happened last year, or things we might want to happen or think might happen in the new year. I wonder if any of the children can name some feelings people have about things that happen. Anybody? No, see, you're so brave when we're doing joys and concerns. Okay, how about some adults? What are some feelings you might have about things that happened last year? Frustration, grief, scared, regret, confusion, gratitude, joy, happiness. Yeah, okay. And what about looking forward? Terror, okay. Patience, hope. Okay, lots of feelings. Okay, so we carry this mix of emotions with us: joy and sorrow, happiness and anger, hope and despair, pride and embarrassment. We might feel excited or nervous, fatigued, refreshed, peaceful, agitated, calm, tense. When we look in our hearts, we might find gratitude or regret, longing, satisfaction, pain, comfort, confidence, or fear. Each of us arrives at the beginning of a new year with some or all of these. And often it's a complex and often contradictory mixture of things in there. These events, these feelings and the events associated with them bring us to this moment and help us become the people we are today. So if you will find your two rocks, two stones, pebbles, and hold one in each hand, doesn't matter which. And I invite you to let one of the stones represent the past, all the things you might like to let go of. Thoughts, feelings, ideas that didn't work out, grudges, infatuation, maybe some dreams, perhaps some disappointments. Things that may have been important at one time that carried you through, inspired you, and comforted you, that have served their purpose and need to make way for something new. Let this first stone represent all you are ready to let go of. Squeeze that stone and release. Now I invite you to turn your attention to the other stone and let it represent the future. Things you want to hold on to or bring into your life in the year ahead. Some of it will be a continuation of the past. What's been working well? What do you like that you want to continue? What would you bring forward? What's been serving you? What needs more attention? What new would you like to make real in your life this year? What's missing? Too long set aside. Let this second stone represent all that you would have be part of your journey going forward in the new year. Squeeze that stone and release. Now let both stones rest gently in your hands, and we'll return to them in a few minutes. An important part of any transition is moving forward is forgiveness of ourselves and others. The late Reverend Rob Eller Isaacs has written a lovely litany of forgiveness, which will serve as our interlude this morning. Martha?
Are you going to explain, or you just?
Going to work is Martha is going to narrate, and then we're going to have a sung response. And the sung response will be exactly the same every time. So once you got it, you got it.
And as the children collect today's offering, we are sharing our plate with the ACLU through the month of January because they do a lot of good things on our behalf. So, for remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For losing sight of our unity.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of our separateness.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
Thank you. Now we'll sing our children out. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wait, no, come back. Come back. Not yet. This is new for the new year.
We invite you to stay for just another moment. So remember your rocks, your stones, your pebbles, and take a moment to think about this time of transition between the old and the new, the past and the future, who you've been and who you want to be. Feel the power of this present moment. And when you are ready, I invite you to come forward and put the pebble you want to let go of in this basket. Some people don't like to let go of their pebbles, and that's okay too. You might offer your thanks to the past for the lessons that it has given you. Yeah. We are ready to let go. Stones are not easily destroyed, and these will not be. They and all they represent will be returned to the earth, reminder of the cycle of life of which we are a part. You may keep the stone that represents your future as a solid reminder of what you wish to carry forward. If you have not placed your stone symbolizing the past, you may do it now or at the end of the service. In her piece, New Year's Day, the Reverend Kathleen McTeague asks, "What shall we do with our great gift of time this year?" She reminds us, the new year can be new ground for the seeds of our dreams. Let us take steps forward onto new ground, planting our dreams well, faithfully, in joy, moving forward in whatever way we can. May it be so. And now we'll sing our children. You and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. And now we'll invite Reverend Kathy up for this morning's presentation. So a number of years ago, I found myself having an internal argument with Yoda, the Jedi Master of Star Wars fame. This was surprising to me because over the years I have heard many Unitarian Universalists describe their theological or philosophical understanding in Star Wars terms. They believe in something akin to the Force, as in use the Force, Luke. For those of you not familiar with the Force, it might be described as an all-pervasive energy in the universe that can be tapped into for good or evil. One of the main characters in Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, describes it this way, quote, "Well, the Force is what gives a Jedi their power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together," end quote. Although I have never done a theological study of the films, I have pretty much accepted that were we to expand the list of sources on which Unitarian Universalists draw, we would need to include Star Wars. So there I was a few years back when walking into one of my favorite local restaurants when I noticed once again on the chalkboard a quote. It was the words of Yoda. And here's what it said. Do or do not. There is no try. I've heard this sentiment before in a seminary class, and I didn't like it either then. The professor had been arguing that the language we use to describe our experience matters. For example, when I wake up the morning of a big event, I might have that feeling we sometimes describe as butterflies in the stomach. I might, as a result, tell someone that I'm nervous. On the other hand, I might have that same feeling and be prompted to describe myself as excited. Nervous or excited? Which word I use, my professor argued, rather successfully, would influence on how I thought about and therefore behaved regarding the challenges of the day. Our language matters. I agree with this. The stories we tell ourselves do matter. But then, the professor went, in my opinion, too far. He argued for the banishment of the word try. For the professor, using the word try allowed for the possibility of failure, and that we should not do. Oh dear. Oh dear. Possibility of failure is not allowed. Perhaps it's the part of me that struggles with perfectionism that rebelled at this rejection of failure. Sometimes we try and fail. Sometimes, even if we didn't allow for the possibility of failure, it happens anyway. Failure happens. Which brings me back to my argument with Master Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. Fortunately for Master Yoda, a quick Google of this phrase provided me with a 5-minute video clip for the context in which it was uttered. Luke Skywalker, our Star Wars hero, has been learning to use the Force. Now he is using it to raise a spaceship out of the swamp into which it has sunk. On each attempt, the ship comes up a little bit but then falls back down. In angry frustration, Luke complains, "I can't. It's too big. You want the impossible." In turn, Yoda is frustrated with Luke because, being a fictional character in a science fiction movie, he knows it can be done, if only Luke would believe. "All right, I'll give it a try," Luke begrudgingly concedes. "No. Try not. Do or do not. There is no try," says Yoda. Eventually, Yoda demonstrates that it can be done by using the Force and recovers the spaceship from the swamp himself. Now, with the respect due to a Jedi Master, perhaps one could argue that in this context, the admonishment makes sense. However, out of context, I do have some concerns, which I will share in just a moment. But first, let me say a word about my history with this topic. In a sermon a number of years ago at that other church, I laid out my concerns with Yoda's admonishment and looked at things from several perspectives. I then shared my hope that everyone's new year would be wonderful and concluded by saying, as for me, I plan to spend a little more time arguing with Yoda. It turns out, with Yoda, no more arguing I did. It turns out that a number of those present that morning shared the perspective of Master Yoda and my seminary professor, and I had the opportunity to be in conversation, not with a fictional character, but a number of members of the congregation. We'll see what happens today. Although those conversations helped me to understand their concerns better, I still find myself a supporter of the word try. My perspective is informed in part by watching people with what we might call an unreasonable relationship with reality. In some cases, people really do believe they can do the impossible, or perhaps that they should be able to do the impossible. The first leads to hubris, and the other to shame. I'm all for the power of positive thinking, but I'm also an advocate of a healthy relationship with reality. I'm reminded of the book and movie, The Secret, from 2006, which sang the praises of positive thinking. The Secret, in my opinion, took positive thinking past a reasonable point. It seemed to claim that by thinking the right thoughts, you too can be rich, successful, popular, whatever you want. You can have it if you will just think right. The presentation raised a number of concerns for me. One had to do with a focus on personal gratification over and against social justice concerns. If a person has that much power, it seems to be that it should be used to make the world a better place. That's a different sermon. The concern I want to address today is that if we agree that by thinking the right thoughts, you too can be rich, successful, popular, whatever you want, then the corollary is, if you are not rich, successful, popular, whatever, it is because you have not thought the right thoughts. Probably because you don't really want to be rich, successful, popular, or whatever. This is the thinking that has led some people to ask those living with cancer, why did you choose to bring cancer into your life? This is the thinking that, I kid you not, led one person, a Unitarian Universalist, to tell me that murder victims have chosen to be murdered. For me, statements like this raise a number of issues about compassion and justice. While, of course, there are things we can do to safeguard our health and our safety, taken too far, this becomes simplistic blaming of the victim. And yet, I do understand why such thinking is popular and even effective, because our thinking does have an effect. Many of us have some very negative thought patterns, and turning those around can make a difference. But there are limits. And my frustration is that when we don't acknowledge those limits, we harm the part of the message that is true. Your thinking really does matter, but it's not all that matters. Your actions really do matter, but they're not all that matter. If you step in front of a moving car on purpose, you're asking to be injured. If you step in front of a moving car because you're distracted and lost in thought, then your thinking and actions contributed to the accident. However, I'm reminded of a friend who was once, as a pedestrian, hit by a car. In court, the driver said, "She stepped in front of the car." The judge looked at my friend for confirmation, and she said simply, "Your Honor, I was on the sidewalk at the time I was hit." Sometimes you step in front of the bus. Sometimes the bus just hits you. I do understand what might propel people to these extremes in positive thinking. For example, let's jump to the other end of the spectrum. Instead of assuming that everything is in my control, let's imagine someone who thinks that nothing is in their control. You have perhaps heard the story of the man who, during a flood, was trapped on his roof. A neighbor went by in a rowboat, offered to take him to safety. He said, "No, I have put my faith in God. God will save me." And so the neighbor continued. A little while later, a rescue worker in a motorboat came by and encouraged the man to get on board. "No, I have put my faith in God. God will save me." Still later, there came the sound of an approaching helicopter. A ladder dropped down. The man was encouraged to climb up. No, he would wait for God. Eventually, the waters rose, the man drowned, and he found himself in heaven. Indignantly, he approached God. "I had faith in you, and you let me drown." And God said, "I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. I don't know what else you wanted me to do." Sometimes we really do need to learn to take responsibility. We really do need to learn to use the power and the resources we have. But somewhere between believing that we are all powerful and that we have no power, it seems to me there is a middle path. And along that path there is trying, and I think there is sometimes failing. You know, I'm glad that scientists throughout human history have been willing to try and fail, so that others who came after them might try and succeed and move our human understanding forward. I am glad that social activists throughout history and continuing today have been willing to work for ideals that seemed impossible so that our world might have more peace and justice. I'm glad that artists of all kinds have tried to express that which can never be fully expressed so that we might have glimpses into the meaning of the universe and into the soul of another. Do or do not. There is no try, says Yoda. Sometimes, though, you really can't just do it. Think of the little fly inside of a window. It beats its little head repeatedly against the glass. And yet, only a few feet away is the door and a path to freedom. The fly never sees that door and thus lies dead with its companions on the sill. Yoda's instruction to believe in its ability to fly through the glass will do no good. Visualizing success is unnecessary. The fly can see its goal clearly, but it cannot get there. And no amount of belief will change that. Having tried and failed, the fly must seek another option or perish. And so we find that perhaps more than one perspective is true here. It is not a case of either or, but rather of both and. It is not the case that either your thinking matters or it doesn't. It is a case that both your thinking matters and it is not all that matters. In either or thinking, someone is right and someone is wrong. In both and thinking, two things can be true at the same time. Both and thinking encourages us to search for balance. Which aspect of truth we focus on may have to do with our personality and our circumstances. If someone is not taking responsibility for themselves, is not using the power that they have, then perhaps Master Yoda's instruction is appropriate. If someone is suffering from feeling responsible for things they cannot possibly control, then perhaps there are other lessons that would be more useful. As teachers and as students, we need balance. Different people need different lessons. Even the same person might need different lessons under different circumstances or at different points in their journey. So in this coming year, as you do or do not, and try or try not, I would wish for you balance. Balance to know what you can do and what you cannot do, and a willingness to try if that helps you find out. It will not always be possible to know which is which. That's okay. Time and experience will tell. Along the way, unexpected things may happen too. That's okay. The unexpected is part of the adventure, and we learn along the way. With an open heart, we can be like the little girl in this morning's story. As we proceed along our various journeys, we may or may not see a frog by the creek. And if we do, we may or may not choose to pick it up and kiss it. And if we do, the frog may or may not turn into royalty. But it will not matter because that frog will be happier in any case. So whatever your life brings you this year, I wish you balance along the way, a willingness to engage fully in the life that unfolds before you. As for me, I look forward to continued, rich and fruitful conversations as together we deepen our understanding of each other and the world. May it be so.
Thank you, Kathy. I wanted to sit there and contemplate a little more, and then I realized I could not. So please, okay, we will sing our closing music. Did it skip? We have a little difference of opinion in the order of service lately, and I keep forgetting about it until I'm up here. And then it's like, oh, so let's extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame. Fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we are together again. And I'm constantly reminded, I'm looking at Sarah in the front row, that our fellowship is way more about love than perfection. And she said that 3 or 4 years ago, and it still rings true for so many things. Now, Janet and Gary for Go Lift It Up. Pardon? Oh, Paula. I can read. I chose not to.
For those of you who know how to look at notes and make sense out of them and enhance your experience, it's 1057 in the little green book. You're lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into praise and the brightness of day. Wasn't that fun?
It is a beautiful song. Closing words today are from the Reverend Kathy Schmitz. As we go forth into a new year full of new beginnings and continuing adventures, may our minds be open and our hearts generous. As we step up to new challenges and encounter the twists and turns and surprises of life, may we feel the support of this beloved community. And as we experience our unfolding journey, may we reach out our hand to help one another, and may we be a blessing to the world. May it be so, and Happy New Year. And we have a postlude today, I believe, if you'd like a few more minutes of reflection.